Over the last couple of years, two young doctors from India have been changing attitudes and making people healthier through a program called Gift of Health. Their workshops promote the benefits of a plant-based diet, and I have half of the husband and wife team here with me in studio. Dr. Shobha Rayapudi is here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Maggie.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. Before we talk about your program, just tell me a little bit about yourself and how you ended up on the Burin Peninsula.
I had no idea that anything like Newfoundland existed on the map. My husband, he was offered a job here in Burin Peninsula, in the Burin Hospital as a surgeon. I was not too keen on coming here when I heard that, and at that time I was working in Johns Hopkins in US, that's in Baltimore, Maryland, and given my area of specializations, there were not many positions available here to work in my area of specialization as an epidemiologist.
Okay.
So, of course, like people have heard of radiologist, pathologist, but not many people hear about epidemiologists. They're like, epi who?
So you couldn't get a job here as well.
Yeah.
Right. And so you started doing something else, which we'll talk about in just a second. How long have you been here now?
It's been four and a half years.
Was it a big adjustment?
I wouldn't say big. But yeah, having lived in cities, yeah, I would say a little bit of adjustment.
Right, going to kind of a smaller town.
Yes.
So you believe that basically changing your diet can have big health benefits, a big impact on your health. What sort of diet changes are we talking about?
Here, I know when it comes to diet, like many people, they have their ears perked. Oh my God, okay, what is this diet going to be? Here we are talking about diet that, like commonly we have natural foods. We are talking about whole grains, fruits, vegetables, lentils, beans, nuts and seeds.
Whole food.
Yes.
Plant-based.
Yes.
So what do you call it? If you don't say plant-based and you don't say vegan, what do you say?
Okay, when we use the word vegan, it's not telling us what we are eating. It's definitely telling us, okay, you're not eating anything animal-based or anything that is coming from animals, but it's not telling me what I'm eating if I call myself as vegan. And even in plant-based, unless you say whether you're eating like whole grains, lentils, beans, nuts and seeds, you cannot literally tell if you're eating processed plant-based or not. So for example, I can be eating spaghetti, chips, drinking cola and still call myself as plant-based.
You sure could.
Yeah.
Chips are plant-based, that's
Yes.
for sure. They're not good for you though, so it's whole food plant-based basically we're talking about. So tell me about the workshops that you're offering.
Yeah. So this is a 3-day workshop that we offer, and through this workshop we empower people. We clear the confusion about like what is healthy to eat, and also we educate people on chronic disease conditions, different like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and other chronic illnesses, autoimmune diseases, arthritis, and most of the chronic lifestyle illnesses that you see nowadays. And we also, besides talking about what to eat, we also empower them with the skills how to change these lifestyle habits, because it's very difficult to change. When you're used to eating a certain way, you think, oh my God, it might require a lot of willpower to change whatever we are doing right now. So we also give them the skills how to bring about a change. And then we show them how to do it as well. So in that way, we educate them, empower them, and we show them how to create the environment that can set up themselves for success.
So what are the benefits then of changing to this diet? Why would people do that?
So let me tell you the benefits by giving you an example of one of our participants from our workshop. Jim was 60, but he felt as though he was 120 when he came to our workshop. He was barely able to walk from his car to the workshop. He was stiff in his hips, having arthritic pains, and in his own words, he would say, okay, my weight was on bust, my cholesterol was on bust, my medications have maxed out, and me doctors don't know what to do with me. And he was literally like very frustrated. And at the same time, he was not even too keen on coming to this workshop because he heard there are two crazy doctors who are telling people not to eat any chicken, cheese, butter, fish, and oh my God, how can you stay without eating fish? So he was like, okay, this is not for me. But he was hearing stories where people were getting better and they're getting rid of their pills. So he thought, okay, let me give it a try.
So he went to your first workshop?
No, this was, I would say, he came last year, November, and we have been doing workshops since 2016, March.
How many have you done?
We have done 13 so far.
Okay, so he went to one of your later workshops.
Yes.
He walks in and and then what happened?
Yes. So on the second day itself, he was surprised to see the change in his numbers. So he was on 15 different medications for diabetes, for arthritis, blood pressure, cholesterol, acid reflux. And his sugars were ranging around 12 to 20. And next day, when he measured his sugar, it came down to 6.7.
After one day?
After one day.
And eating what?
So we serve buffet-style meals, so they can eat as much as they want. So Friday, we served with cauliflower wings, cheese and nachos, of course, cheese made in a plant-based way.
Like cashews?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But the cheese had potatoes, carrots, onions, and cashews. And also, we served pea soup, lasagna, and brownies made from black beans.
Uh-huh.
So and also we almost, they get to taste 65 different varieties of food over those 3 days.
Wow, that's fabulous.
Yes.
That's worth the price of admission right there. So after one day, he saw a drop in his blood sugar.
Yes.
Which would affect his diabetes, of course.
Yes. And so he was quite surprised to see that, and that motivated him to go with this plan, with this intervention. So 3 weeks later, he lost 19 pounds. He came off of his one medication for acid reflux, 2 medications for blood pressure, 4 medications for diabetes, and 30 units of insulin.
After 3 weeks?
After 3 weeks.
What was he eating before?
So his favorite, I would say, of course, pork chops, baked beans, and typical Newfoundland hard grub that they would call it here. Mm-hmm.
Junk food? Maybe. You didn't get a detailed account. So how many people have gone through these workshops that you've done?
So far we have 270 people.
And have you seen results like that in a lot of people, or is that an anomaly?
Oh, yes. We see, people who come with acid reflux. So after those 3 days, they said, oh my God, now I don't need to take my pill anymore. People get rid of their acid reflux medication. People get rid of their blood pressure medications, their diabetic medications, and they are surprised to find that their arthritic pain is gone, and they're able to walk. Even Jim, as I said, he was not able to walk, his joints were so stiff. But after 3 weeks, he every day used to go for a walk for 1 hour like a champ.
So what is it then that's, causing that change? Is it that the plant-based food is just better for you? Is it the meat and the dairy was causing this? Like, what is it?
When we always keep wondering, okay, what's the harmful effect with meat, dairy, cheese, or like what's wrong in having them? Like it's good for us. Like after all, we get all the protein from that. But when we look at animal protein, it causes inflammation. It has substances like Neupogen 5C, TMAO that increase inflammation in our body and cause other effects. Our blood, like within 30 minutes, your blood changes. It becomes thick and it's very hard to flow. And also there are other changes. And when you look at foods coming from animal-based, so they have cholesterol, they are loaded with saturated fat, which again is linked to heart disease, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. And not only that, even animal-based foods, they cause early puberty. And with early puberty comes host of diseases like increased risk of breast cancer, increased risk of ovarian or hormonal related cancer. And when you look at dairy, it's also it shows increased chance of getting breast cancer or prostate cancer or other hormone related this thing.
Right.
And also not only that, when you look at animal protein, it causes a lot of load on your kidneys, on your liver. So that's why you see a lot of acid reflux and other host of other conditions.
So I guess it's one thing to be in a workshop where you're providing the food. Do you provide meal plans and support for people after they're done so they can continue eating this way? And how many people stick to it and are successful and maintain that way of eating?
One of the beauty of our programs is workshop is just the beginning, because after that we recognize to bring about any change you need 3 ingredients. So one is of course the knowledge, the skills, and the third thing is the support. So we provide a lot of support to the participants who go through our program. So we also assign them mentors who are previous participants who have been successful in this way, so they guide the incoming participants. And they also we have like weekly support group meetings, both live and also in person. And they can reach out to us whenever they want. So in terms of support, they have us. And with this, the success rate is high, and also we have seen for people who want to get rid of medications, they have been able to get rid of. For people who want to lose weight, they have been able to do that.
I understand people are coming from faraway places. It's not just people on the Burin Peninsula.
Oh, yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
We had people from Chicago, from Florida, and just in last workshop we had people flying from Washington, Seattle. So far west. And we also had people from the French islands. So
people are hearing about kind of these success stories and coming to try it for themselves?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot about, how expensive produce is, and, is it more expensive for people to eat this way, especially if you're in a rural community or a northern community where you may not have access to, a lot of fresh produce?
When you look at plant-based foods, what it does contain, like you're talking about whole grains, oats, potatoes, your fruits and veggies, beans. So when you look at what is the cost of oats or whole grains, or if you want to buy a bag of chickpeas or beans or lentils, they are not so expensive. And when you think of produce, fruits and veggies, so some vegetables you might think they are expensive, but like there are a lot of options. Like you can also go for frozen food. In a workshop, we had a family of 6. Earlier, before doing plant-based, they were spending around $170 per week for their groceries. After going plant-based meals, they were actually, so their bills came down to around $120 per week.
Wow,
for a family of 6.
In Buren?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
When's your next workshop then?
It's in Feb 8th, 9th, 10th.
In Buren?
In Buren.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do people get more information or sign up if they're interested?
So they can go to our website, www.giftofhealth.org, and it's listed under events. We also have a Gift of Health Facebook page where people can see the upcoming events and other things.
Okay. So if someone can't make it to a 3-day workshop, what advice would you have if someone's listening and thinking, this is worth a shot? You know, like, I don't want to take 10 medications.
Yes.
How would you advise that they start, and what sort of resources are there to do it on your own?
Yes. So one is under Gift of Health website, everything is available free. Like you have around 200 recipes, which is available, and definitely people can look at it. But for a person who is starting, I would just say, if you can give 5 minutes of your time every day, you can make a breakfast which gives you 50% or more nutrients for that day, and all it takes is 5 minutes.
And you have that on your website?
Yes.
All right.
It's called overnight oats. All you need is you're just taking half cup of oats, throwing in 1 cup of plant-based milk, whether it's soy milk or almond milk. Put 2 servings of your choice of fruit, and add a little bit of cinnamon or pumpkin spice, and you're done.
And away you go.
Yes.
I understand you've got the Tim Hortons in Buren offering soy milk.
Yes, and you wouldn't find that here in St. John's.
Who knew? Listen, it was a great pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Dr. Shobha Rayapudi lives and works in Buren and offers workshops on switching to a whole food, plant-based diet. Well, what do you think? Is it something you'd try? Are you interested in finding out more? You can call Talkback. Tell us what you think. 1-800-465-6846 or 576-5207.